There are moments when life doesn't just hurt, it breaks. Not a small loss, not something you can recover from quickly, everything at once. And the hardest part, you don't understand why that's where he was. You know that moment when something happens and your world changes instantly. No warning, no preparation, just loss. And not just one thing, multiple, stacked, relentless. Before you can process one, another arrives, and another, until you feel overwhelmed. Like something is collapsing around you. That's where he is. Job, a man who had everything, not just wealth, not just comfort, but stability, family, peace, a life that made sense. He was respected, known for his integrity, for his faith, for doing what was right. Everything seemed aligned, everything seemed secure, and then it begins. A messenger arrives out of breath, urgent. The oxen were plowing and the donkeys feeding beside them, and suddenly attack. Taken, servants gone, loss. Before he can fully absorb it, another messenger arrives. The fire of God fell from heaven, burned the sheep, consumed everything, more loss, then another. The Chaldeans formed raiding parties, camels taken, servants gone, more, and then the one that breaks everything, a final messenger, slower, heavier. The house collapsed, your sons and daughters, they are gone. Silence, everything stops. This isn't just loss, this is devastation. In a single moment, everything he had is gone. His wealth, his security, his future, his children. And maybe you've felt something like that. Not necessarily the same story, but the same feeling. When life doesn't just take something, it takes everything. And you're left standing there trying to understand, trying to breathe, trying to process something that doesn't make sense. Job falls to the ground, not in anger, not in rebellion, but in grief, real grief, deep grief. And he says something that seems impossible in that moment. The Lord gave and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord, not because it doesn't hurt, not because he understands, but because his faith is not based on circumstances. And that's rare. But the story doesn't stop there. Because sometimes when things are already broken, more still comes. Job's body begins to change. Pain, sores from head to toe, physical suffering on top of emotional loss. He sits in ashes, scraping his skin, trying to find relief, but there is none. And now even the people around him begin to speak. His wife says, "Curse God and die." Because from the outside it doesn't make sense. It doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem right. And sometimes people around you don't understand your faith in your pain, but Job responds. Shall we accept good from God and not trouble? He's not saying it's easy. He's not saying it's comfortable. He's acknowledging something deeper. Life is not always balanced, not always predictable, not always fair. And then his friends arrive. They sit with him, silent, for 7 days. No words, just presence. Because sometimes there are no words, but eventually they speak. And when they do, they try to explain, to make sense of it, to connect the pain to something he must have done. Maybe you sinned. Maybe this is punishment. Because people want reasons, explanations, something to hold on to, but not everything has a clear answer. Job listens, but something inside him knows this isn't the truth. And then he speaks. Not calmly, not softly, but honestly. He pours out everything. The pain, The confusion, the questions. Why was I born? Why is this happening? Why is God silent? And maybe that's the part that feels familiar. Because sometimes faith doesn't look like peace. Sometimes it looks like questions, like struggle, like not understanding, and still not walking away, still holding on, even when it hurts, even when it's silent, even when nothing changes. Time passes, nothing improves, no answers come, no explanation is given, just silence, heavy, persistent, uncomfortable. And then God speaks, not with a simple answer, not with an explanation, but with perspective. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Questions that shift everything, not to dismiss the pain, but to reveal something greater, that there is more happening than we can see, more than we can understand, more than we can control. And slowly something changes, not the situation, but the understanding. Job doesn't get all the answers, but he sees something deeper. Surely I spoke of things I did not understand, things too wonderful for me to know. And in that moment, peace doesn't come from explanation. It comes from trust, from recognizing that even in suffering, God is still present, still aware, still in control, and in the end, restoration comes, not immediately, not easily, but fully. His life is rebuilt, not the same, but restored. And maybe that's what speaks to you, because sometimes you're in that moment where nothing makes sense, where things feel broken, where answers don't come. But this story reminds you of something. You don't need all the answers to keep going. You don't need to understand everything to still have faith. Because faith is not the absence of pain. It's the decision to trust even in the middle of it. And maybe what you're going through right now isn't the end. Maybe it's a chapter you don't fully understand yet. Because just like Job, what feels like loss can still lead to restoration, even if you can't see it yet.